When addressing conduit size, especially in the context of communications cables to water reclamation facility pumping station, several factors and National Electrical Code, or NEC, articles come into play. The situation involves a contractor altering the conduit size from 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch for a belt and multi-pair communications cable. Article 358 of the NEC specifically addresses electrical wiring, protection, and termination for communication systems. Section 358.20 covers the size of conductors and raceways, while Section 358.28 focuses on raceway fill. These sections directly relate to ensuring the proper sizing of conduits for communications cables. Additionally, NEC Article 110 provides general requirements applicable to all electrical installations. Section 110.12, titled Mechanical Execution of Work, is particularly relevant. This section emphasizes that electrical work should be installed in a neat and workmanlike manner, which implicitly includes proper conduit sizing and cable management. Outside of the NEC, resources such as the Belt and Wire and Cable Catalog offer detailed specifications and conduit fill information specific to belt and multi-pair cables. The Conduit Electrical Reference Guide also provides tables for calculating conduit fill based on cable diameter and conductor count. These resources can assist in determining the appropriate conduit size for a given cable configuration. The NEC Handbook provides commentary and examples on the interpretation of NEC requirements, including conduit size and fill. This handbook can offer additional clarity on how to apply the code in specific situations. It's also important to consider NFPA 70E, which is the standard for electrical safety in the workplace. This standard addresses safety requirements related to electrical installations, including the proper sizing of conduits to prevent hazards. Several additional considerations should be taken into account. Firstly, the contractor should have a valid permit and be following the approved plans and specifications for the installation. Altering the conduit size without proper authorization is a code violation and potentially unsafe. Secondly, the change in conduit size should be documented and approved by the responsible electrical engineer or inspector. This ensures that the modification is evaluated for compliance and safety. Thirdly, the contractor should ensure that the conduit is properly filled and that the cables are properly secured within the conduit. Overfilling a conduit can damage the cables and create fire hazards, while improperly secured cables can cause mechanical stress and failure. Lastly, the use of a 3/4 inch conduit for a cable that was originally intended for a 1 inch conduit may compromise the integrity of the cable and could create safety hazards. Reducing the conduit size can cause the cable to be bent or compressed beyond its rated specifications, leading to insulation damage and potential short circuits. To perform a conduit fill calculation, several steps are involved. 1. Gather cable specifications including the outer diameter of the belt and multi-pair cable. This information is typically available in the Belt and Wire and Cable Catalog or the cable's datasheet. 2. Consult NEC Chapter 9, Table 4, which provides the allowable conduit fill percentages based on the number of conductors or cables within the conduit. For a single conductor or cable, the allowable fill is typically 53%. For 2 or more conductors or cables, the allowable fill is typically 31%. 3. Calculate the cross-sectional area of the cable using the formula area equals pi times radius squared, where pi is approximately 3.14159 and the radius is half of the outer diameter. 4. Determine the internal area of the 3/4 inch conduit using NEC Chapter 9, Table 4. This table provides the internal area for various conduit sizes. 5. Calculate the percentage fill by dividing the cross-sectional area of the cable by the internal area of the conduit, then multiply by 100 to express the result as a percentage. 6. Compare the calculated percentage fill to the allowable fill percentage specified in NEC Chapter 9, Table 4. If the calculated fill exceeds the allowable fill, the conduit is too small and a larger size is required. For example, suppose the belt and multi-pair cable has an outer diameter of 0.6 inches. The radius is 0.3 inches, and the cross-sectional area is 3.14,159 times 0.3 squared, which equals 0.2827 square inches. According to NEC Chapter 9, Table 4, the internal area of a 3/4 inch conduit is 0.533 square inches. The percentage fill is 0.2827 divided by 0.533 times 100, which equals 53.4%. In this case, the calculated fill exceeds the allowable fill of 31% for 2 or more conductors, so the 3/4 inch conduit is not suitable. It's important to consider dating factors when multiple current-carrying conductors are installed in the same conduit. NEC Article 310.15 Code provides adjustment factors for ambient temperature and the number of current-carrying conductors in a raceway. If the conductors are subjected to high ambient temperatures, or if there are more than 3 current-carrying conductors in the conduit, the ampacity of the conductors must be derated. This derating can affect the required conductor size and, consequently, the required conduit size. The NEC provides specific tables for calculating conduit fill, such as Table 1 in Chapter 9, which gives the maximum number of conductors or cables permitted in a conduit based on the conductor size and conduit type. These tables simplify the process of determining the appropriate conduit size for a given application. In addition to the NEC, local codes and regulations may impose additional requirements for electrical installations. It's crucial to consult with local authorities and inspectors to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards. Improper conduit sizing can lead to several problems. One potential issue is overheating of conductors due to insufficient ventilation. Overfilled conduits restrict airflow, causing heat to build up within the conductors. This can degrade the insulation, reduce the ampacity of the conductors, and potentially lead to insulation failure and short circuits. Another potential problem is difficulty in pulling cables through the conduit. Overfilled conduits create excessive friction, making it difficult to pull cables without damaging them. This can result in increased labor costs and potential damage to the cables, requiring replacement. Furthermore, using undersized conduits can violate electrical codes and regulations, resulting in fines, penalties, and potential liability in the event of accident or fire. It's essential to adhere to the NEC and other applicable codes to ensure compliance and safety. Regular inspections and maintenance of electrical installations are crucial for identifying and addressing potential issues before they become serious problems. This includes checking conduit fill, cable condition, and proper support and securing of conduits and cables. It's also important to ensure that all electrical work is performed by qualified and licensed electricians who are familiar with the NEC and other applicable codes and standards. Hiring unqualified contractors can lead to improper installations, code violations, and potential safety hazards. When planning an electrical installation, it's advisable to consult with an electrical engineer or inspector to review the plans and specifications and ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards. This can help prevent costly mistakes and ensure the safety and reliability of the installation. Finally, it's important to keep accurate records of all electrical work performed, including conduit sizing, cable types, and installation details. This documentation can be valuable for future maintenance, troubleshooting, and upgrades. In summary, determining the appropriate conduit size for communications cables requires careful consideration of NEC articles, cable specifications, conduit fill calculations, and other relevant factors. Compliance with codes and standards, proper installation practices, and regular maintenance are essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical installations.